Hey, what's up guys? Sean here with Think International, and I want to share a video with you. I just got back from Johannesburg, South Africa, from the grand opening weekend of Rivers Church new building. And we shot a building tour video. Now, Rivers Church overall is doing some pretty incredible things for God. Under the leadership of Pastor Andre and Pastor Wilma Olivier, the church has grown from 70 people to now over 10,000 across 2 campuses. I got to meet the team and the staff and the members, and they're incredible. The worship, the creativity, it's an amazing place. And then through Rivers Foundation, they are impacting their community, feeding the needy, helping with housing, helping with medical. And I say all that to just give you a little picture of what happens inside and outside the walls of this church. But specifically, I think you'll get 3 takeaways from this video. Number 1, encouragement. I know that I'm always encouraged when I get to see what God is doing around the world in different cities and communities. Number 2, inspiration. Hanging out at Rivers is seriously like soaking in an environment of creativity and art. And number 3, ideas. You know, regardless of the size of your current projects, I believe that from watching this video, you'll get fresh ideas for whatever you're working on. Okay, so here it is, the building tour of Rivers Church, Sandton.
Hi, welcome to the opening of our new sanctuary, and this is Sean with me. He's our business manager, and we're going to take you on the tour of our new building. Come, let's have a look. So this is the downstairs area. This is our food court, and we'll have people to hang out here. There are all different kinds of coffee, organic food. We sell nuts and oils and all sorts of healthy things, and a couple of hundred people can eat down here and just hang out and connect and make friends. Then we designed the building with the spirals in mind so that easy access was possible. Instead of stairs, you can just walk up and walk down. You can take a trolley up here. You can take a wheelchair up here. It's actually a quarter kilometer from, if you go up to the top and come down to the bottom, it equals a quarter kilometer, but it makes easy access and you get thousands of people out of the building very quickly. We've got one on the north side and one on the south side. So here we are in the food court, and we offer coffee, sandwiches, pies, all sorts of great takeaway food that you can eat at the tables. We also sell groceries and organic food, organic coffee, organic vegetables and eggs and coconut oil, all the sorts of things. We're trying to train our church to eat healthily, so we're selling that not just to make money, but the goal is to train you to how to live and how to eat properly so that you can look after your body as well as your spirit. So we're on the ground floor in the foyer, and we have 2 resource centers on the ground floor opposite ends of the food court, so it's easy access for people to shop, pick up CDs, and we have a visitors area where visitors come after a service to pick up a pack, connect with our pastors, and just be welcomed. One of the things we emphasized was a place where people could connect, they could relax and meet people and make friends. And so on every level, there are chairs, tables, lounge suites, and places for people to hang out. People have asked me about the decor in the building, and it's a very interesting story. We gathered steampunk memorabilia and items from all around the world, but mostly from America, on eBay. We bid on them. We bought antique gauges, some of them from the 1800s. We had them delivered to a friend of mine's church, and then we brought them out to South Africa and we put them up. There are 900 kilograms of items that were brought into the country, which gives the building its unique feel. My goal was young people. Want young people to feel happy here, to enjoy the environment. So we haven't gone for the slick, we've gone for finished industrial. Can tell you some information about the building as well. How much concrete is in this building?
So there's 4,500 tons of concrete in the building.
Wow.
There's 500 kilometers of rebar, which is the metal support which actually goes into the concrete. Just the handrails you're speaking about on the actual spirals in the building, there's 1.8 kilometers of handrails
Wow.
in the building just to make sure people are secured. And obviously not only that, form part of the decor in the building as well to make sure people feel comfortable.
So let's have a look at the restrooms. Here we have the ladies and gents restroom. Let's take you to the gents restroom. We did something unusual here. Went with the old Victorian look with the copper basins and the old black tiles and portholes that we bought from India. And we got some car signs up and made it look really funky. Let me show you the toilet doors. Come have a look at the toilet doors. Each toilet door is the name of a vehicle. Some of the vintage vehicles that you get in the world. These were all bought on eBay and were put up on the wall. This is the ladies' toilet, as you can see. This way, ladies. And hope there are no ladies in here at the moment. But this, as you can see, is more girly. My wife put her touch on here. The toilets are quite like French design with the little decals on them and the carpet in here and the pink walls and so on. So you've seen the restrooms. Let's head for the sanctuary and give you some insight on how and why we built that. These are the lifts, by the way, and what we did here is we tried to dress them up in a Victorian fashion, made them look like machines. So we're on the main promenade level. We call it promenade. It's the entrance to the downstairs area of the sanctuary, but we'll go into the sanctuary and we'll start right at the back. Sean and I are in the auditorium now, and this auditorium was very carefully designed. The two of us traveled overseas and we looked at rakes and distances between seats, heights that people could see over their heads. You'll also notice there's no central aisle, so the preacher is not preaching to an empty aisle, as in many churches are designed where there's an empty aisle. As soon as someone gets up, they're distracted. The preacher's distracted, so we didn't do that. You'll see that we have screens that are LED. They're the biggest LED indoor screens in our country. The reason for that was not to be great or exceptional, but to communicate with people and to engage them. So that's why those screens. The central screen lifts up and down on silent motors and weighs 4 tons. And it covers the worship team for television so that the stage is clean. The aisle behind me has especially been left open for parents. We have 5 parents' rooms, but we like parents to come into the auditorium as well and be able to sit here until their child becomes noisy, and they can sit with their child on loose chairs with the pram next to them, and we can accommodate, I think it's about 50 right across the back of the auditorium. The interesting thing about this auditorium, which you don't immediately notice, is that although you consider yourself being on the ground floor, underneath us is an entire basement in which 55 cars can park. So we built a basement, then we built downstairs, and we built a gallery to maximize the use of space, because we're in a very congested area where property is very expensive. The PA system in this building is very interesting. It's only in 3 places in the world. One of them is the Sydney Opera House, one is in a church in Taiwan, and the other is Rivers Church.
So that was the downstairs bowl of the auditorium. We're going to head on up to the gallery and we'll take a look upstairs.
When we did the decor of the building, I decided that we would have to have our mission statement up. Normally it could be printed, put in a frame, could be big letters on the wall, but we decided to do something creative. So behind us are the 4 words that represent our church: worship, reach, connect, volunteer, and our team has done a great job of creatively putting them on the wall and just expressing something unusual of a very important dimension of our church. Behind me you can see there are 10 chandeliers that span this area of the building. They're handmade. Each one of them weighs 200 kilograms. That's 350 pounds, I think it is. And they were specially designed to light up the building with a steampunk look, and they really give a good atmosphere. Behind me you'll see sort of a retro looking sign, the info, and then also the restrooms. And the reason we've done them with lights is not just to decorate the building, but that from a distance you can tell where the toilets are. I've been to many church buildings and it's like a maze. And if you're desperate to go to the toilet, it's quite embarrassing to have to ask someone, where are the toilets? Whereas with these signs, it's very obvious. You just have to glance in either direction and you can find the toilets very easily. So we're in the gallery, the upstairs of the building, And there's a lot of space up here, as you can see. We can assemble as many people in the foyers as can be seated in the auditorium. So if it's storming and raining, the people can filter out, they won't be congested, and they can wait until the rain stops, hang out together and connect. We designed the building with that in mind so that you wouldn't be forced out into the open. We've got a whole collection of decor items in various cabinets around the building. We have Bibles and commentaries from Wesley's Church in Bristol in the UK. We have memorabilia that people have given us, old typewriters that sermon notes could have been preached on, cameras that were used by people in our congregation, and various interesting artifacts and items that are in all these cabinets throughout the building, just to make it interesting and make it a talking point and to make people feel like they're in an unusual place, not a churchy place. We're in the gallery, and the gallery seats 1,000 people, and we designed it with a very steep rake so that there would be very clear vision for everybody. You wouldn't have to move your head. You could see the screens. As you can see behind me, the screens are clearly visible. And Sean and I planned this quite carefully so that this gallery would hold 1,000 people. It doesn't even have pillars underneath. But I wanted to ask you what the height was, because Pastor Brian Houston was asking me today, what is the height of your building? He said it feels higher than theirs. I couldn't tell him what the height was. Do you know how many meters?
So directly below this balcony here, where the people are seated below, it's 5.5 meters from those seats below to where the balcony is at its lowest point underneath those people. And then on the stage, it's up to 14 meters for where the trussing will start. And depending where you're in the building, it will vary a little bit. And then the roof, because the roof's curved, obviously, the center point of the roof can go up to 16 meters. 16 meters at the center point of the building, but the stage and trussings varies between 10 meters and 13.5 meters.
That's pretty high. How long are the handrails in the catwalk? All that walk, we've got walkways in the catwalk where you can go up and work on the lights and where people can abseil down and so on.
So the handrails in the catwalk are just over 1 kilometer long, just to make sure there's safety standards there. But you walk up, there's a grid up there basically where people can lower down. Every 5 square meters there's a point where we can lower something down, whether that's for a Christmas production or something that you want to do. Every 5 square meters there's a point for which we can lower down on a certain kilograms to make sure that we can do things in the catwalk.
So now let's take a walk to the windows. I want to show you the parking garage that we constructed where formerly there were 2 residences. We demolished them, we built something interesting. Let's go and have a look. So I'm standing on the top level of the building and we're looking out over the parking garage. 640 cars can park here. Formerly there were 2 homes, 2 acres. Now there are 5 acres of parking, some of it undercover, and our people are able to walk directly across from the parking into the building. Below me you can see the baptismal font. We designed it in a way where people could walk in and form a line, be baptized, and then immediately walk out, and the next person could be baptized, so we could double the amount of people baptized during the worship segment of our services. We baptized people and we broadcasted inside onto the main screens during worship with the person's name on screen. Now we can do double of what we did before. So we hope you've enjoyed the tour of the building and found it interesting. But most of all, a building is a harvest field. It's a place to reap and reach people. And with the 3,000-seat auditorium, we're trusting God that we can reach more people than ever before, because touching people's lives is what Rivers Church is all about.